Check 1 2, check 1 2. Oh, wait. Let me see. The game music is off. Let me turn that on. And turn the BGM, the chat BGM off. Okay, there we go. Kind of wondering why I had that hotkey. Apparently, it was there for a reason. Anyway. Hey everyone, welcome to another Mahjong and Play Night. So if you're not familiar with this format, basically this is my way to doing a Zatsu. But at the same time, I don't really like doing straight up Zatsu. I like doing Mahjong on the side. Some people might do other things, but I do Mahjong. And whether or not you like Mahjong, play Mahjong or whatnot, you can listen to me, you can ask me to play. We do need at least 2 people to start with, just FYI. Other than that, yeah. I guess before we get started with any ranked matches or anything like that, I'm kind of like extremely chill right now. Not all is all right with the world. However, I also don't have anything to rant about specifically. So it's kind of like, okay, what did we talk about? I guess there was the huge thing that happened earlier this week, and I don't know, like after effects from what happened earlier this week is like kind of crazy now that I think about it. And I'm just kind of here watching from the sidelines, and it's like, wow, really? I mean, this thing is kind of like celebrity level drama stuff, and why the heck is it even happening here? Why is it happening in this sphere? But I guess I don't know. It's weird. It's strange. I don't know what to make of it, and I'm kind of like in the same sphere as that, except at a much lower level. I guess you can kind of call this like a what do you call this? An open mic session, except I'm the one on the open mic, basically. I really don't have too many thoughts about it, but oh wait, I did have some stuff I wrote down. Let me see. Yeah, well, when it comes up. For now, let me go ahead and warm up a bit in ranked. I haven't touched this in a while, so who knows where luck is going to be today. I have been not doing too good. Wow. My rank is less than 400 over 800. This is not good already. Well, my only hope is I don't end up in 4th place, or 3rd place is okay. It's not ideal, but 4th place is, you know, I'll take 4th place if I have to. But anyway, basically right now I'm just kind of like chilling, no thoughts, empty head. Been trying to catch up with my anime from the past couple of weeks, and I also realize I'm behind on some videos. For no other reason than I've just actually been putting it off. I guess it's kind of hard for me to find the time to do anything. That's probably on me though. It's mostly on me. It's mostly on me. But I feel like if I grind the content creation train a little bit too much, I'm gonna burn out. And I am, for lack of a better word, old. I am old. I get tired easily. My what do you call this? There's a word for this. My not resistance. What is it? Tolerance. My tolerance to dealing with crap is basically not there. Like there are things I care about. I think that's never going to change, but the things I don't care about take a lot out of me. And it's, you know, just trying to figure things out. you think you get this life stuff figured out at some point. You never do. You never really do, unless you got a family or I guess a lover. I guess is what they call them. I don't know. If you have a significant other or a family or something that keeps you tied down, I guess that is your life, basically. That is your life. But for anyone else who doesn't have that anchor, I guess, for lack of a better word, it's like, what do we do? What do we do? I don't know. It sounds like we're starting off with a heavy topic, and really, we're not. It's not really a heavy topic, per se. It's more like I'm just trying to get the conversation started, and this is the first thing that comes to my mind because I'm old. Basically, not the best way. Not best way to do things. But yeah. Anyway. I am like planning a trip, I guess, later this year. Not the 3-month Japan one. Though I probably should do that. I probably should work on that plan a bit more. I've been like going back and forth on what to do for 3 months. It's like I got a whole 1.5 months of it kind of sort of figured out. A little bit at the beginning of the trip, and a little bit at the end of the trip, but in the middle of the trip, that's like, it's confusing. Well, not necessarily confusing, more like, what the heck do I do in this middle part of the 3-month Japan trip? And it's kind of like, yeah, maybe 3 months is kind of long. But at the same time, there's just so much I want to explore, just wander around in for 3 months. It's kind of like that thing I just mentioned a little while ago about life and wandering around. It's kind of like wandering, but you gotta plan. But in this case, I'm kind of planning my wandering a little bit, because if I don't plan my wandering a little bit, then I will probably waste too much time. You gotta plan a little bit as you do these things, or at least have a basic framework. Plan the path, not necessarily, you know, have every single little detail planned out, but at least plan a path. Even if the part of the path is like just resting and taking in the scenery and whatnot. So I'm kind of like figuring out where I want to go. Ideally, it's places I haven't been to before. Because what I've noticed in, at least in previous trips, is I tend to go to some places over and over again. I mean, when you go to Japan, it's kind of hard to not go to Tokyo, because it's kind of like along the way, more or less. But doesn't mean I have to spend all my time there. But whenever I'm in Tokyo, I end up going to usually the same places. That would be mainly Akiba, Radio Kaikan, around the Radio Kaikan area. And while I do, for the most part, still enjoy that area, it's kind of like I need to check out other places. I need to get out of my comfort zone a little bit, even though these are places I like to go to because I just kind of like browsing through them. That's basically what it is. I kind of just like browsing through them. Oh, is anyone gonna give me this? I highly doubt it. But anyway, yeah. So Hokkaido, basically, I'm still planning my trip around Hokkaido, and I'm kind of like looking at the general layout. Hokkaido is like 50% or more wilderness, and with that comes gigantic national parks, 3 of which that I kind of want to go to. Though now that I think about it, are the 3 national parks different enough to warrant all the visits? Yeah, I guess if I have 3 months, then yes, I suppose I do. That's gonna be a lot of driving though, because you can't really use trains or public transportation or buses even to get to most of these places. Hokkaido is vast and wide, and you kind of have to drive. So it's kind of like, road trip. On one hand, I really hate driving, like really long distances, but on the other hand, driving in Japan is not so terrible. Well, I say not so terrible, but it's also kind of terrible in a way that it's kind of, everything's kind of far. Not everything's kind of far, but mountain roads, I hate mountain roads in Japan, especially the one lane mountain roads, which they seem to have way too many. I mean, I don't understand why, but it is a thing. And the mountain roads is just scary. Holy crap. You go up or you go down, and unless it's a one-way what do you call this, road, you're likely to meet someone on the way up or on the way down, and when you do, it's kind of like, ugh, who's going to move where? Are one of us going to end up falling off a cliff? Because I have a feeling someone has done that at some point, but they're also usually fairly careful not to do that. Then again, I shouldn't generalize. I shouldn't generalize, but in general, I have that feeling that they do. I don't know, there's just a lot of nice places to go to that are only accessible through one-way mountain roads, and that prospect of going through those is scary may not be the word, but it is kind of scary, especially if I'm going alone. Especially if I'm driving alone. Not that it would be any different if I had someone else with me, but you know, it's kind of like at least someone else with me would tell me, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? I trust my own judgment, having had to for a while, but still, it's kind of like, second opinion might be nice sometimes, just a little bit. Just a teeny tiny bit. Oh, I am so thankful I did not toss that out. So yeah, mountain roads. But also I feel like Hokkaido is mostly mountainous. Japan in general is mostly mountainous. What am I saying? Japan in general is mostly mountainous, but I feel like Hokkaido might be fairly mountainous, also bears. So I guess if I'm driving around Hokkaido, I kinda need something big. Maybe not a camper big, but a car that's not gonna get toppled by a bear very easily. Then again, if they see a car, they usually back off, so guess I'll be okay. Maybe. Bears. I don't think I've ever seen one at any distance. But yeah, that's gonna get really hairy if it ever happens. Yeah, not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it at all. It's like supposedly the way to deal with bears is like make a lot of noise, let them know you're there. Usually they avoid you. However, if a bear has ever gotten a taste for human food, they'll know to go after you instead. And I hear at least in the past couple of years, the food situation for the bears has not been very good. Neither is his hand. Are you serious? We're gonna have to get a revenge here. Anyway, bears. Bears are bad. There's a reason why bears are bad news in media, in literature. They have quite a reputation from thousands of years. Oh, thousands of years. But a lot of people seem to think they're like this cuddly ball of bigness and fur, but gotta remember these things are wild animals, and wild animals do not play like humans would expect them to. Unless they were in captivity, but even then, they'll probably like sneak up on you or something. Hey Lacats, welcome. How's it going? I'm just kind of like soliloquying right now about random stuff, mostly about figuring out trip plans that I still kind of want to do, but I don't know what the future holds, so it's just kind of nice to think about. But yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. How's it going, by the way? How's it going? Apparently the past couple of times I've done this the Mahjong night, I've been ranting about life, work, and whatnot. And honestly, it just so happens to happen around those times, but right now I have nothing to rant about. Actually, really nothing to rant about. I don't know how many people are gonna look at the title and think that's actually gonna be a subversion, but actually there is no subversion here. I am being perfectly honest. I have nothing to rant about. Getting pretty busy lately. Yeah, I guess it's about that time, right? After the new year. Though I'm not really sure what you're busy with, but whatever it is, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Oh, I guess I should mention. Well, I can mention it another time, but I guess I brought it up. Now I gotta say it. I guess I'll just say it. So I was applying to grad school, right? I was applying to grad school, and I got in. Well, I got accepted. I'm not in yet, but I got accepted. But at the same time, I have not accepted going to grad school. Like I already have a master's degree, and this is just a second master's degree if I so choose. If I so choose to go into the college, this would be my second master's degree that I would be going for. However, I have a feeling I may not actually want to do that. The main reason being is cost. Not that it's going to be expensive, it will be, for the 2 years that the program would take, but also, I mean, think about it. I go back to school. I don't earn any money during that time. And I had to pay for tuition, I had to pay for room and board, and all the other living expenses while doing that. The classes itself, I feel like, are gonna be not necessarily easy, but, you know, those are the least of my problems. Least of my problems when money is going to be my biggest issue, and with no income and all the spending, and then after graduation, is there any actual guarantee that I am going to be getting a job afterwards? I guess there's the thing where like new graduates are, what do you call this, sought after, I guess, somewhat, not really, I don't know. I mean, like, there's no guarantee of getting a job afterwards, and I've been lucky enough before to be able to get a job afterwards. They didn't all work out, and I've had to try a couple of times before I was able to settle down and actually settle down into a job. But it's not always a guarantee. And then, because I mean, also you look at all these job openings, and it's always like, must have 5 years experience, must have 10 years of experience. And I'm kind of like, really, where how get experience? How do you get experience? It's tough. So I guess part of the experience may come from school and projects. Some workplaces do accept that, but also the, what do you call this, the thing where you like must have practical experience in field would be a better pick for someone. Yeah, the job hunting paradox. This is also, I feel like, the biggest issue, especially with new graduates from college. No, we're not talking about graduate school right now. We're just talking about college. I had that issue also when I got out of college many years ago. I was able to find something, but it wasn't great, and I eventually had to quit it after the second day just because I knew that's not where I wanted to be, and I knew that it would be a dead-end job. It was, if I remember correctly, right after college, I applied as I guess a QA chemist or something like that at a chemical plant, which was 1 hour away from where I originally lived at that point. And I mean, past it, me and this other guy who interviewed at the same time, passed away flying colors basically. Took the job because, you know, first job out of college, woohoo, let's do it. However, even back then, this was like paying at $13 an hour, which even to us sounded really low. Okay? And this was also a fertilizer plant basically in the middle of nowhere. So who was actually working in this fertilizer plant? And if you look at the terms of the jobs, you cannot just take off any time you want to in the year, and you're only given like maybe 1 week of time off during the entire year, and only in the summer, because it's a fertilizer plant. Production is the game here. And so it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't think I want to work here. After getting the orientation and all of that stuff on the first day and hearing all of that, it's like, nah, I quit. I got out of there as soon as I could. Also, it's a 1 hour drive. There's no way. If I were to move, it's basically middle of nowhere. Basically, actually, middle of nowhere, and it wouldn't be a good time. I ended up getting a lower paying job than that chemical plant, not chemical plant, but that, you know, that QA job what would have given me. But at the same time, I was kind of working towards a different goal at the time, which I didn't end up pursuing because I saw how boring the job is. Yes, pays a lot, but it was also super boring. So didn't do that. And then I ended up after that going for my graduate program, and then eventually got a job afterwards then too. However, the first job I got after that was not a great working environment. It's not that it was like toxic or anything like that. However, the boss was very very strange, very egotistical, very controlling. And he was like boss slash owner of this very, very small company, very, very, very small startup company. And after 3 months, basically, I'm not sure exactly what happened anymore. I tried to block that out from my memory, but all I remember from that time is I got fired. I got fired from that job just for like talking about certain things with the boss. And yeah, I had like severe PTSD from that job for about 2 years. A solid 2 years. And I hate this hand. What the heck? Why is my luck so bad? Why is my luck so bad in this game? Okay, well, I guess we're doing the double dried plums again. I still have the dried plums, by the way. I swore to myself I would actually touch these things, like for a snack or something, but I never do because of how strong the flavor is. So, okay. I still have, I think, three more honey pickled plums, as well as maybe 3 or 4 more sour dried plums. And because I got 4th place, I'm gonna eat both of them at the same time, so that I can finally get through them. Oh my gosh. You can't see it because I don't have the hand cam. Speaking of which, hand cam at some point in the future. Still gonna happen. Wow. Ow! Okay. That's was. Oh no. That's why I don't eat these things so often. Oh. That's so strong. It's like salty. Super salty. Have to drink a little bit of tea. And oh geez, the tea made it worse. The tea made it worse. It hydrated and spread the salts all around the mouth. Oh my gosh, that's not. Oh, that's good, not good. Yeah, it's been a while since the last hand cam. I do kind of want to try doing another hand cam soon. I can't say exactly how soon, but I want to do another one soon. I still have some food and snacks that I have been wanting to get around doing a video, but I don't think that video will ever come. So, in order to force myself to get through them, we may have a hand cam in the future. Maybe the very near future. Because I really, 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 really want to get rid of them. I really, really want to get rid of them. And it's been sitting there for the past, I want to say 3 months. Like I've been accumulating these specific snacks for a video as a comparison to another thing that we've done on the channel before. And I haven't gotten around to doing the video. Also, one of the things I ordered from that list of snacks that I've been accumulating, it never came through the mail. So it's kind of like, it's an incomplete comparison set that I've been accumulating, but at the same time, I don't feel like trying to get that missing piece anymore. Somehow it got lost in the mail. I didn't think that actually happened. But it did, so I had to get a refund for that one. And now, almost 3 months later, I still haven't gotten around to doing a video of those. So, okay. I guess it's hand cam time to eat, review, and see the horrors of these things I have accumulated. And then after we're done with the hand cam, I give it away to everyone at work. Because I can't give it away to you guys. I think that might be a little bit difficult. So, the snacks sometimes go to people at work, and they never know who what do you call it? They never know who gives them out. I just kind of sneakily put them in places where they can see it, but they don't know who dropped it. I don't know if this is the same in all workplaces, but in all the workplaces I've been in, the good workplaces I've been in most of the workplaces I've been in, there's like a spot in the, what do you call this? The break room, that's it. There's a spot in the break room or somewhere around the office area, if there is an office area, where people would put food, miscellaneous items that they don't want anymore, and it's basically like, hey, this is the freebie area, take it if you want it, kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of neat that there's a system like that in most places I've been to. And sometimes you find neat stuff, sometimes you find not so good stuff. Like one time, there were like, I think some really nasty protein flavored snacks that no one in their right mind would normally buy, but I tried one of them anyway, and I can understand why no one would buy them. It tastes terrible. It tastes absolutely terrible. All right, we don't have a third, so, or a second, I guess. So I'm gonna do another round here. But you know, sometimes free food is free food, and then other times someone dumps a gigantic container full of either peppermint candy or Tootsie Rolls, and I'm like, that's really not my thing. I'm gonna just stay away from that. You realize this when you get into the workforce and have like you get like an appreciation for free food. Though I mean, even in college you get an appreciation for free food just because why not? Free food is almost always nice. I say almost always because not all free food is made equal, but it's hard to deny that free food is usually pretty good. Just because for the fact that it's free. Now it doesn't mean they're all good, like actually taste good. That's a different story altogether. But you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Especially if you have like a certain workplace where you get like maybe a week of recognition, I guess, from, well, yeah, you know, there's like these random work-related holidays, but it's not really a holiday, but it's more like a celebration of some sort. Like, you know, there's Boss's Day or Secretary's Day, and in the medical field, or I guess the scientific field, there's also this thing called Lab Week. Lab Week is typically a solid week of basically vendors trying to go to like, well, people would like contact vendors and stuff and you know, the vendors would give free food to the labs for recognition for their work and stuff like that. It usually works out that way, and so it's kind of this neat system where you can get a lot of free food typically during that time. Sometimes way more than you would ever possibly could eat in a single day. And there tends to be a lot of leftovers, so it's really a good time to stock up on sometimes good food, sometimes not so good food, but usually a lot of catered food, and catered food is always appreciated. you get like catered sandwiches, catered pizza, catered tacos, whatnot. It's like food overload, and it's great. You learn on those days you don't actually need to bring your own lunch or buy lunch from anywhere, but it would be very, very helpful whenever those days do come around to have like a container, an empty container. Bring an empty container to work, and right before you leave, or maybe right after a couple hours after everyone eats, go back to the break room where all the food is and stash all the food that you want. Take home all the food that you want that you can fit in your container home. And that's gonna happen for like every single day for a solid week. And it is a ridiculous amount of food. Sometimes, I think one time I did that and I ended up with like a month's worth of food that way. And I didn't have to cook for an entire month, but they were all also very heavy food. Hoarding, yes, but think about this. You can freeze some of that food. And if you do freeze that food, hey, even better. You can thaw it out for later, eat it later, and it's still good. Or at least somewhat good. It's never going to be as good as fresh ever, but you know. You take what you can get. You take what you can get. And if you don't take it, it's just going to get tossed out the next day anyway, and that's a worse waste. That's a really bad waste. I hate wasting food. My number one pet peeve, and I've more or less cardinal sin for me, is wasting food. Now, the only time I will allow tossing food out is if it's bad, like if it's gone bad, one, or two, it's just bad, like you burnt it, it's bad, or it tastes really, really bad. When it tastes really, really bad though, it's like situational, but it kind of breaks my heart sometimes. No, it breaks my heart all the time when I see that in the fridge, work fridge, there's food that's been stowed away there from like a couple of days ago that would still be technically be good, yet they tossed out the entire thing later because no one's been touching it, either because no one knows about it or because they just don't feel like touching it because it's been there a while. And I feel like just give it to me. Just give it to me. I will eat it eventually until it goes bad. Like we had like it wasn't like we had like this cake from like a birthday celebration, and I think it was like a fourth of a cake left. And you know, cake gets crusty and stuff in the fridge. You're really not supposed to refrigerate cakes and whatnot. That's a different story. I mean, it's gonna go bad anyway, but if in the fridge it's still kind of okay. I feel like it's been like a few days and the rest of it was basically tossed out. I feel like it was still okay. I feel it was still okay, but it was already in the trash by the time I could have gotten to it and taken it, basically. It's like, another thing that really annoys me, I'm not sure if anyone else has had this experience, but another thing that really annoys me is people leave food in the fridge and forget about them for months, and it just kind of rots in the work fridge. It's like, why did you do that? This isn't your home. Don't do that. I mean, that's why we clean the fridge out every so often so that doesn't happen, but it still happens. And it's really, really annoying. It's really, really annoying that people do that. It's like this jeez. I think the worst ones are like people leave a salad in there or something like that, and then they don't touch it for over a week. And you know, the salads don't last long at all. and they go bad. So because it hasn't been touched for over a week, of course it has to be tossed out. But here's the thing. Someone still left that salad in there for over a week, and I gotta wonder, why did you bring that salad to work if you weren't gonna eat it? Are you just gonna? Did you just bring it to work to leave it in the fridge and forget about it? Is that what this is? I don't understand. I don't understand. The easier ones to forget, I guess, are the ones in the freezer, because no one thinks about looking in the freezer. Well, I wasn't gonna start with ranting. I didn't think I was gonna be ranting, but it just so happens that this is a rant-worthy topic. Like, what are your pet peeves? Tell me what your pet peeves are. I mean, food is my biggest one. Anything related to food, waste in general is my biggest one. I mean, I don't mind if you guys enjoy it. I'm just, for the most part though, I will admit this, I really have no idea what to talk about half the time. Just because I need a prompt one. I need a prompt one. And the thing I actually want to talk about today, I really shouldn't be discussing it in the middle of the stream. I can probably talk about it near the end of the stream, or the beginning of the stream if there were enough people. But in the middle of the stream, it just kind of feels like it was shoehorned a little bit. But there is this one thing I kind of want to bring up that's related to what happened earlier this week in, I guess you can call it streaming, but I guess it's better known colloquially, locally, how do you say that word? Colloquially. I know what this word is, I just can't pronounce the heck out of it. Colloquial. Let me type it out. Something like that. 英語難しい。はい、英語難しい。すごく難しい。けど、でも、日本語も難しい。Because the reason why Japanese is even more difficult than English, I would say, is because there's so many homophones in Japanese that you really have to listen very well to be able to understand what someone else is saying in Japanese. Which makes absolutely no sense with their sentence structure. Like, I'm studying kanji right now, right? And I see all these kanji with supposedly different meanings, and the pronunciations for a lot of the kanji are exactly the same. The only things one of the few things that throws me off quite a bit is the elongations, the OUs, and the hard consonants. The hard consonants I'm kind of getting used to, but like OU or just O, those trip me up a lot, and words I have learned a very long time ago still trip me up a lot because I keep forgetting how to spell them. Even though in practice I feel like you could say them even the short way and people will still kind of know what you're saying. And when people talk really fast anyway, it's like the length of the sounds really don't get stretched out as much as they do, as much as they should be. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone saying, it's kind of like someone saying, let's see, hole or hole kind of thing. But hole means like a hole in the ground or a hole in the wall. But hole probably means like as a hole. I don't know. I'm just trying to like give an example there that something similar in English. Yeah, it's. But I guess if you read it in text, if you read it in text, the characters kind of sort of make sense when you read it, and it kind of sort of makes sense in context. But when you speak it, there's oh wow, I'm getting distracted by this girl right now. Woo! Azure Lane money is not quite there, but it's still pretty darn good. Okay. Anyway, so the words are a little bit easy to not easy, but a little bit easier to tell apart when you're reading them. The pronunciation, once you learn them, kind of come naturally, but when you're speaking, it's a wonder that no one. It's a wonder that miscommunication due to homophones doesn't happen that often. I wouldn't say it never happens, because I feel like it does happen sometimes, but it's a wonder that it doesn't happen more often. I don't know. It's just my feeling. It's just my feeling. I guess in practice, from what I've been told, even the Japanese themselves don't know how they managed to do it for so long, but it's still there. It's still there. I think the other thing is that as I'm learning as I'm learning the kanji and stuff like that, I'm looking at the kanji used and what it's supposed to mean in English, and sometimes, not all the time, I do notice weirdness in the kanji that's been used and what they mean in English. For example, bicycle. This one's a recent one that I've noticed. Bicycle in English means a vehicle with two wheels, right? Bicycle, two wheels. But in Japanese, bicycle is jitensha. Jitensha, which means self-revolving car or self-revolving vehicle, which means you are powering the vehicle by yourself, not like by a motor. You get what I'm saying here? The focus is a little bit different in some senses. We focus on what the object is, but sometimes in Japanese, at least in this one instance, the focus is how the thing is being used. Here's another one. I'm not sure if this is a good example, but here's another one I kind of noticed. Pronunciation. Pronunciation. What does pronunciation mean in English? Well, if you really want to get the root words, pronunciation is how you say a word, how you say a group of letters. Pronounce. I need to look into that a little bit deeper because I forgot my roots already. Well, not forget my roots, but I used to dig into roots a little bit more before. But anyway, pronunciation is how you say things. In the kanji used for pronunciation is hatsu on. Hatsu meaning departure, on is sound. Now, by itself, it doesn't really mean anything, but what is referring to is the sounds departing from your mouth. But you never actually say mouth in any of that. But it's a departing sounds, the sounds that come out of your mouth. I guess it kind of makes sense if you think about it a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's mostly similar. Now that I think about it, that wasn't a very good example at all, was it? I don't know. I just language is a very interesting thing. That's all I'll say about that. Language is a very interesting thing once you really dig deep into it. However, this was from an older lesson that I have, and I'll be bringing it up in the next video I make once I finally get around to editing it. I think I got a little bit too distracted this week from all the Power World. I've been playing too much Power World, so hence I have not been able to make a video. However, the shitpost videos I've been making recently with the voice acting stuff, those were kind of fun, very short, not so much editing. Yeah. Anyway, I've been playing way too much Power World, just trying to grind and farm off stream and do small things that don't really have time to do on stream also. But it's also very addicting, so I haven't been able to make those Japanese videos. But anyway, old lesson for the Japanese stuff. It's so here's one thing I've found. Star, right? So what is a star in English? A star is any basically flaming body out there that gives off light. Technically, right? Technically. However, if you look at the night sky, it's not just those flaming bodies that give off light. Planets give off light, comets give off light, the moons, it gives off light. But we never call the moon a star. They don't do that in Japanese either. Neither do they do that in Chinese. But planets can be mistaken as stars. So historically, I guess the Chinese at some point called the other planets stars until they got a closer look at them. So what ends up happening is Mercury is called something star, Mars is called something star, and so forth and so forth. However, the words attached to those star, the kanji for star, or I guess in this case it would be a celestial body, but it doesn't really have that connotation because you use the same kanji for star and a celestial body. Anyway, but basically Mercury, because it supposedly is blue, I guess, the kanji for Mercury is suisei, water star, or water celestial body. But there's no water in it whatsoever. It's dry as a rock, basically. But I don't know where water star came from. Mars, red star, well, not red star, fire star. It kind of makes sense because Mars is red like a fire. So Kasei, fire star, makes sense, right? Except there's no actual fire there. I think the names are referring to the colors. That's probably what I'm thinking. And Venus is kind of similar also. Kinsei, gold star. I guess it looks a little bit yellowish. That's all from the sulfuric clouds over there on Venus. Kind of makes sense. Jupiter is a weird one. It's called Mokusei, which means wood star. Where's the wood? Where's the green? Not really green, but I guess it's kind of like woody. Because if you look at, if you look at a picture of Jupiter, it looks kind of like, I guess, wood. And having a little bit of background in that, I was also thinking about old anime and series called, namely Sailor Moon. And if I think of what the main characters in Sailor Moon's attacks are, Mercury, Mars, Venus, all that stuff, and what they use for their attacks, it kind of makes sense now why the author did what they did based on the names of their planets. Now, the outlier here would be Sailor Moon herself, Usagi. It's just kind of like a ray of light, basically. But it's like, oh wow, okay. So that's where it came from. I don't know what they call the other planets yet because I don't think I've gotten those names, but apparently Saturn is called Dirt Star or Soil Star, which seems a little bit of a strange thing to call it. And then Neptune, I think, is the only normal one out of that naming thing. And it's not because it's called. It's probably because the way Neptune is in Japanese, it's like Kai Ose, or what is it? Kai Si O King, Sea King planet. Sea King being Neptune, which makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. You would think the Neptune, which is supposedly known for water, or at least looks very much like water, would be at the one that's called Water Star, and not Mercury, which has no water in it whatsoever, and basically does not look anything like blue. At least I don't think it looks anything like blue. I'm gonna have to like look at a Wikipedia article on that. It's actually no. Let me look at a Wikipedia article on that. What does Mercury look like? Mercury planet. Yeah, not blue whatsoever. Let me show you what I see. Can I show you what I see? Is it a good idea to show you what I see? Yep, that's Mercury right here. Not a single blue thing on Mercury whatsoever. It's it basically looks like the moon. It basically looks like the moon, and I don't know where the blue came from or the water moniker came from at all. Unless, I mean, no, I mean, Mercury is like Quicksilver, right? Quicksilver isn't necessarily water. It's a melted metal. At one point, Mercury was supposed to be thought to be the elixir of life, extending your life into immortality, but it does the opposite. It does the opposite. Do not recommend drinking Mercury. It will just kill you. And clearing out mercury poison from your body, very, very slow. Very, very slow, if at all. Which is probably why they say don't eat too much fish, because of the mercury poisoning. But I mean, I think fish don't really have that much mercury in them to worry about that much. I mean, people who are pescatarian, they seem to be fine for the most part. Though I think mercury has also been known to cause some, maybe not dementia, probably dementia, but also some, you know, some mental illnesses. I think that's what happened to one Chinese emperor. I forget who he was, and I forget exactly what happened to that guy. I just remember that ancient China had a huge what do you call this, fixation on mercury as the elixir of life, which it wasn't. I'm not sure how long it took them to find out that it wasn't. I wish the same thing kind of happened also to the rest of their ancient Chinese medicine, because the weird stuff you can find in the herbal section, non-herbal section of the Chinese pharmacy is strange. Like shark fin, dried scallops. Ginger is fine. Ginger is actually known to be good. But like super expensive, super weird ingredients. What's other stuff that they use in a traditional Chinese medicine? Seahorses? Apparently you can eat seahorses anyway. I've never tried seahorse. I don't think I've ever seen seahorse on the menu. But you can do that. Did you know seahorses are actually a type of pike fish? I did not. I thought seahorses were a separate thing altogether, but seahorses are a fish. First of all, they are fish. And they are a modified pikefish. I don't exactly know what a pikefish looks like. But when I hear a pikefish, I imagine this really thin looking fish that can like swim really, really fast, which is the opposite of what a seahorse is. They don't swim fast at all. They are slow swimmers, which is also a wonder how they're still alive after all this time. But they're also very tiny. So I guess there's that too. And somehow, I don't know how this even happened in the process of evolution, but seahorses can get pregante. I mean, technically it's the females that get fertilized or something like that, and then the eggs somehow end up in the male, and the male is the one that's giving birth to all the little fishies, which turn into other seahorses. And I don't exactly know how that happens because I haven't looked into them that closely. Nature is weird. But so very interesting because it's so different, as well as languages in general. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna mention this again maybe in a couple of months anyway. I'm gonna be going on another trip this year. This is not the 3-month Japan trip. This is gonna be a shorter trip. Sometime between spring and summer. Sometime between April and May, which may or may not happen to fall on my birthday. So, because of that, we may have a quick early birthday celebration on this channel when that happens, because I won't be here for my actual birthday. Not that I've actually celebrated my birthday on stream before, but I feel like why not? Let's do it this time. Oh, my voice is killing me. What's happening? Just a sec. Anyway, all I've really done is drank tea and water, and for some reason you know what screwed me up? It's these plums. These freaking plums are the ones that screwed me up. Okay, maybe let's try not to do that. No promises there. I am surprised though that I don't think I have. Nope, I did get 4th, I think. Wait, how many times did I get 4th? No, I got 4th in the first game. Second game was 3rd, which technically I should have done a Batsu then. Oh well. I'll pay that back after this game. Unless, no, I still pay it back. Whether or not I get 1st or 2nd, I still have to pay it back. Because it's a per occurrence kind of thing and not a overall kind of thing. Though if I did an overall kind of thing, I feel like a 1st place should wipe out a 4th place Batsu. Or 2nd place wipe out a 3rd place Batsu, but you know, we're not that lucky. We're not that lucky down here in this rank. Holy crap, I am so close to ranking out. I am 212 over 800. It feels bad. Why is this happening? Anyway. But yeah, I'm still trying to decide where to go for the short time I'll be out in April to May. But there's gonna be a short trip then, so yeah, just FYI. It's still a couple of months away. But January felt like it kind of went. No, actually no. I don't know how people felt about January. I didn't feel like it went by that quickly. Though some people think it has gone pretty fast already. To me, probably because my mind was elsewhere, I just didn't think about it that deeply. I'm too focused on my goal many months ahead. So it's kind of like, yeah, January came, January passed. As long as I use the time I have right now a little bit better than I used to, then I think I'll be okay. But yeah, if anyone's worried about time, yeah, January's gone, guys. It's already March, and it's almost not March. It's already February. And it's almost gonna be Valentine's next week. Not that I have anyone to do Valentine's with, but hey, if you do, congratulations. Congratulations. May you enjoy that. I do kind of want to do something for Valentine's though. On the channel. Still trying to figure out what to do. I usually don't do a Valentine's stream, but I figure like this time I probably should. I think I know what I want to do. But yeah. We'll see. Oh my gosh, this is a tough table. Yeah, thinking about... What am I thinking? Honestly, nothing right now. I'm just trying to think of what I need to do this weekend. For next week. I mean, I still got work tomorrow, so... That's a thing. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what to do for next week. I mean, like I said, I've been playing way too much Power World. I really need to finish what's available. Though I think most of the Power World bug is out of me now. Not to say I don't enjoy it, but the closer I get to endgame in most games that I do, I kind of feel like not actually finishing, if you know what I mean. I never had that issue before, but for some reason these days I kind of have that feeling where I don't actually want to finish what I started, or in this case I don't want to finish the game that I started, unless I really just want to see the ending. Like in Armored Core, I really wanted to see the ending there, so I went through it as fast as I could. But at the same time, it's like sometimes the road to the ending seems very long, and I don't know, I just kind of lose motivation along the way. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe it's like arc fatigue of some sort, I'm not sure. Arc fatigue is a thing where you're like, one arc in a series goes on for far too long. But this isn't exactly the same thing, but I guess it's kind of similar, because the channel goes in game arcs, right? It goes through a season of long games, and that's basically an arc for us. Unlike other channels where you have like content that you can always expect there, like, you know, in a food channel you always have food videos, in a travel channel you always have travel videos, and music channel, and so forth and so forth. In a channel like this where we don't really have a focus, other than maybe streaming, we go through arcs. We kind of go through arcs, and I don't know where I was going with that, but it just seems like the Power World arc, at least on this channel, might end maybe in a week or two. Maybe not, definitely not next week. There's still too much stuff happening next week, but maybe in a couple of weeks. We're getting to that point where we're almost done with what we can do in the game, and after that it's just kind of waiting for more things to happen. Though there's a lot of other people that tend to play the same game for weeks and weeks of it at a time. Like, you know, there's Ark, Minecraft, League of Legends. Name a competitive game that people play for months on end, kind of thing. Sometimes a little too obsessively. Other times just casually, that just ends up being dragged on to months or years even. What I don't understand for some places anyway, for some channels anyway, like, how can you do the same Dark Souls game for years? I get there's challenges to do and things to try out, but still, you're doing the same content for years on this channel. How the heck are you doing it? Don't you get tired of it? Maybe. I don't know. I just can't seem to wrap my head around that. Though, you could probably also ask the same with food channels and travel channels. But the difference with the food and travel channels is you're always going to a different place, seeing different things, trying different things. With a gaming channel, it's the same game with a few twists here and there for the challenges. I don't know if you can call that different enough. I don't know. I'm not creative enough in games to do that. I tend to do one thing and this okay, not too painful, but still hurts. I kind of do things very simply in games, and I usually don't get too creative. It's like I was looking up some base ideas this past couple of days for Power World, because I really do want to restructure the base that I currently have and make it so that it's a little bit more solid, especially against raids, and also condense the layout a little bit so that it's a little bit more efficient. And I ended up looking at other people's bases where they made a base out in the middle of the ocean on one tiny little rock. Tiny little rock, and it's basically a floating platform out in the ocean, which you can do. I just don't understand where the ground is there to hold it all up. But it's balancing on top of one tiny little rock, basically. And then there's other people who made these gigantic warehouse looking things out in the mountainsides and stuff, which you can do fairly easily. However, the problem at that point is, how do you get your pals to not clip into the walls, or, you know, get stuck inside the building? Because the pathfinding isn't quite there yet. It is still being tweaked, but at the moment you kind of have to make everything big enough, or at least intuitive enough, for the AI to be able to find their way around. Otherwise they get stuck. And even if you think you have everything figured out, they still somehow manage to get stuck and then die of hunger. They don't actually die of hunger, but they get pretty hungry, and they get depressed, and then they stop working, and you really need them to work to be able to farm more. it's this whole thing. It's really just this whole thing. But it's also an interesting problem to figure out. So I don't know. I think the weirdest thing, other than building a base out in the middle of nowhere, is that farm stacking. So you have little plots of land that you can plant just food. Let's just call it food, because there's like limited vegetables and stuff that you can plant on it, but they're all useful. And I guess tomato is technically a fruit, but we call it a vegetable. But anyway, farm stacking apparently is a thing that people have experimented on, and I guess it kind of looks like some real world, I guess indoor farms where you stack plots of land. Not really plots of land, but plots of soil on top of each other. It kind of reminds me of what you would see for a mushroom farm, except it's not a mushroom farm that we're trying to make here. The Furitin. How did I get myself into this? Well, I guess if I draw any of these, then it's still a win for me, but 410 is still a bit of a pain to deal with. Alright, well then, we'll just hold on to it, I guess, because we're pretty close to the end here. Yeah, the end of this round anyway. But yeah, I think it's something I want to try at least in the next stream, because I think the next stream I'm gonna be rebuilding the main base to make it a little bit more efficient, as well as clear out the bosses in the game for hopefully clear the bosses out in the game. It's a little... Oh, I'm at a loss regardless. Really? Oh, really? You had to hit me when I was the dealer. Oh, I gotta pay 8,000 out of that. Oh, I hurt so much. I hurt so badly.
Yay! Top idol no Kana-chan desu.
My luck is terrible. What the heck? Oh, I'm gonna rank down at this rate. Oh, great. Maybe I need to play more Mahjong off stream, but holy crap, this ain't good. Okay, well, so I still have to pay back the third place Batsu as well as the fourth place Batsu. So we're gonna do 2 things of sour dried plums and 1 thing of honey pickled plum. So that is 3 plum Batsu that I have to do. And apparently I still have a few more plums here in the packages, which is not encouraging whatsoever. Which means I just have to power through this. Alright. 3 plums at one time? 3 dried plums at one time? It's a little too strong. Oh, it's a little too strong. You know what? It's actually probably not as bad as I think it is, but oh my gosh. Maybe if I... no, the last time I drank something as I was eating this, it made it worse. Okay, that wasn't as bad as the last one. I'm not sure why. But the bad news is I still have some dried plums left. And I'm not done with this. So either I have to lose more or just win so I don't have to eat more of this. It's a painful battle for me. If you like the dried plums, great. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a little bit too intense, honestly. The flavor is way too intense. If it had a nice sour flavor like vinegar, or vinegar and salt and vinegar chips, that kind of thing, I think it would be a more pleasant experience. But it's not like that at all. Like, I like salt and vinegar chips. I don't like straight up super sour dried plums. That's just, I think you're supposed to eat this with a drink and I don't know, have rice with it, I suppose. Kind of like you're not really supposed to eat natto by itself, though I hear some crazy people do that. I don't know who does that, but some crazy people eat natto by itself. If you're one of them, hats off to you. If you're not one of them, you're like some people here who can't handle those very intense flavors. It's like, I don't know. I can handle somewhat intense sour candy, but this one hits a little bit different than that sour candy. You know what I mean? This is like a mixture of sour, a tiny little bit of sweetness, hardly there, if you ask me, and salt. It's like a mixture of those three, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing whatsoever. And normally I'm okay with that because in Filipino cooking anyway, you do get a mixture of those three flavors, but it's like more balanced, not so intense. And yeah, it's just kind of that thing. It's not so intense. Like some of my favorite Filipino foods have a nice balance of sour, sweet, salty, but none of them leaning towards too sweet, too salty, and trying to kill your mouth at the same time. This is just trying to kill your mouth. Trying to kill your mouth a little bit too much. Oof. All I am asking for tonight is a win to recover my losses. But apparently we're not gonna get that because the board hates me. Mahjong giveth and Mahjong taketh away. So they say. But I need a few more of those to actually pull ahead. We can't just do it for one round because one round doesn't really do anything for anyone. Mahjong giveth, Mahjong taketh. Just because Mahjong giveth to you in one round doesn't mean you get to keep it at the end of the match. You still have to be very careful. Very careful, and yeah. Well, we're gonna hopefully bring ourselves back together here. I'm not sure how it's gonna happen, but hopefully we'll do that. Ooh, I'm not liking what's going on with the person to my left right now. It's kind of they're kind of like halfway through a all wins, or at least partly honors, but I think they might not be going for either one. They really just want the Yaku, and the Yaku is fine. The Yaku is fine, they can have it. I just hope no one else is gonna come in and, you know, run off me. That would be the worst thing. After getting this far ahead anyway. Sometimes I kind of wonder if I've been stream sniped, but that who would even know? Who would even know that I'm playing here? We're not big enough for, to be stream sniped like this. And I guess there's like a 1 second delay anyway in the stream, so but you can kind of see what I'm planning for, so you can set up for that. Yeah. Ponya. Except I did not set myself up well. Oof. Chi? No. We're not gonna chi that because we have nothing to chi with. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, heck no. Heck no. This is like... I'm getting a lot of zawa zawa here. Too much zawa zawa for the world. And this person just cheated for the Dora. I mean, I get it. It's very tempting, but you cannot, you can't do that. You can't change the flow like that. That's gonna kill me. Speaking of Dora, that Dora would have been nice to have, but I feel like it's also a trap. It would have been a trap for me because I wouldn't have been able to make a hand there. I think I am effectively out of this round. And someone deciding on whether or not to take that 6 is... that's where all the 6s went. I see. So I was never going to get it. I was never going to get it, so I'm basically out. And I really have nothing to rant over today. I mean, I did have one topic I wanted to discuss, and I guess it's more like over VTubing in general, I guess. I mean, you may or may not know, I am supposedly a VTuber. Categorically speaking, I am a VTuber. However, I don't consider myself one. I just call myself a streamer, basically. But point that aside, that's aside. There's this weird thing in there's this weird thing in VTubing that happens that doesn't really happen, I feel like, anywhere else. It doesn't happen in other content creation spheres, except for maybe... No, I don't think it happens anywhere. It doesn't happen in art, it doesn't happen in streaming, unless you're a VTuber. Doesn't happen in other things in general. Oh crap, that was a misclick. But in VTubing, it has been a thing for a very long time, and this thing I'm talking about is keeping the past lives under wraps. Not necessarily a secret, because a secret eventually comes out for anyone who's really curious about it. But past lives, let's just frame it with that first. Past life is this thing where... What do you call this? The thing that someone used to do before they became a VTuber. Now, it can also mean something that someone used to do before they became anything else. Like, let's say it's a voice actor. Their past life may have been different minor roles in smaller indie films or indie animation works, or even an eroge voice actor. Some eroge voice actors transition from not safe for work to safe for work, that kind of thing. So in that case, that would also be a past life. However, in this case, past life in VTubers is treated very differently from all those other past lives. For all the other past lives, people know, and it's not really a secret. You can kind of openly talk about it. But in VTubing, at least maybe ever since Kizuna Ai, apparently there were other VTubers before Kizuna Ai, but since Kizuna Ai anyway, from what I could tell, when Kizuna Ai officially, I guess, left, I'm not sure if she's gone, the voice behind her, there's this thing where, like, we don't talk about past lives, we don't associate past lives with what they're currently doing. Though some people may know what it is, may know what it is, we don't really talk about it. And in some cases, it may be because of an NDA, or because they don't need to be associated with it or whatsoever. But especially weird though, when, especially, let's say, before someone joins one of the big agencies, Hololive, Nijisanji, what have you, their past lives are only known to the people who usually follow them, or anyone who has looked into them. But openly speaking, no one really talks about it while they are in that current persona. They are who they are before and after, but they are like, you don't really talk about them in past terms. So one example right now, I guess, would be even I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without actually saying it. But I guess what I'm trying to get to here is, before it used to be a huge taboo, or maybe not really a taboo, but something that went like, we really shouldn't be speaking about it. It used to be this thing that was treated as a taboo, or at least, in some circles treated as a taboo, where we do not identify people who they currently are now with whoever they were back then, because it's kind of seen like as a form of doxing, I guess. Though doxing, I think, technically speaking, is actually revealing the location of someone, basically revealing the location of someone and using that for malicious purposes. I think that's what doxing actually means. However, it's also past lives are also kind of sort of treated as a form of doxing, I guess, because I guess in VTubing we treat each VTuber as a separate entity, and for some people it's kind of like my immersion, right? You treat that person as a character and not necessarily as themselves, and that's kind of what classic VTubing is. Classic VTubing is about acting out as a persona online, but not everyone does that. I don't do it. Other people don't do it. But some people who really, really get into it treat it as if, like they are who they are on screen, and they're not treated as a regular person. It's basically anime. You're basically treated as anime person come to life kind of thing. And because of that, the past life thing becomes a little, tricky. Do you treat the person behind the model as a voice actor, or do you treat it as a different person when they go from one persona to another? I guess more confusing is when you go from indie to corpo. Definitely two different roles, definitely two different environments. You can't really acknowledge the indie persona as a corpo because the corpo personality, the corpo face, is basically a character, basically. Right? But I think there's a shift in attitude these days where it's kind of like people are a little bit more open about it now, about talking about past lives and whatnot, especially after the corporate personality has been retired one way or another. Call it graduation or termination or what have you. They have been retired from the corporate world, hence they are no longer that, I guess, that face, that persona online. They are who they used to be, whether it be as a regular person or another name that they used to go by before joining that corporate world. But because people are very curious about the actual person themselves, it is very hard to separate the past lives from the person who they used to be in in the corporate side. Case in point, which is not a secret anymore, but people don't really say the words specifically with what happened with Selene, and then it's like, who is Doki Bird, that kind of thing. So because of what happened to Selene, people wanted to know what happened to Selene. But since Selene is gone, who is Selene now? That kind of thing. But I guess it's like there was this thing before where we really did not talk about past lives, and to a degree we still don't talk about past lives of people who are in corporate, though you may know them already. It's like it's like a lot of past lives are very, what do you call these, open secrets, I guess. Open secrets that you know who they are, but you can't say who they are while they're in the company. But you know who they are, so if they ever leave, you know where to follow them. Or maybe you don't know where to follow them if they were never a public persona to begin with. Before joining, like some of these people came from professional backgrounds, voice actors and whatnot, and they didn't really have a public persona before then, but they had like a huge resume of stuff, which kind of makes you wonder how anyone who wants to become a corporate VTuber, how do you actually do that without joining and not be able, and like, how do you actually do that? Because some people are like super talented, or at least have a lot of experience. It's tough. I don't know. I'm definitely not one to give advice for that, for sure. I have tried for auditions before, never made it through even to the first round. I doubt that even if I try now, I'll get past it without a solid plan, or at least a solid proposal. Even then, they're probably going to be looking mostly at other things before they get to someone who's basically a no-name in that field. Anyway, but what I was doing about the past lives thing is that I think people are a little bit more open about acknowledging, at least, acknowledging talking about past lives now than they used to be. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing because it was definitely a lot more hush hush before, and it's still kind of hush hush right now. And some people may just not know, and some people may only really care about the person if they were in the company and not outside the company. But for a lot of people, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. They're the same person whether or not they were in the company or outside the company. That's why we're there. We're there for the person. We're not there necessarily for the character, though some people play a character very, very well. Some people play a character very, very well, are very in character, and don't really have any, what do you call this? Any personal, any of their personal self in the character, I guess. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Some people are really good at that. Like I do envy that. I do envy that though. Like I kind of think sometimes, well, what would happen if I actually played a character on stream rather than, you know, just be myself, just kind of doing this for fun kind of thing. But you know, everyone's different. Everyone does things differently, and if everyone did the same thing, then I feel like it's just not going to be that interesting. It's not going to be that interesting. You're basically going to have gremlins pitted against gremlins, or high energy versus low energy kind of thing. We're definitely a low energy stream around here, but also, I mean, you know, just keeping it real. Maybe too real sometimes. I don't know. Anyway. Oh wow. Remember when I said Mahjong giveth and Mahjong taketh? This here is a prime example of Mahjong giveth and Mahjong taketh. I was first in this round, and now not first anymore. Not first anymore. Instead, person to my right is slowly recovering, and we are not going to be able to end this unless someone gets over 30,000. So hopefully either I or the person across from me ends this at over 30,000, and hopefully I do not get wronged. We can do a sumo. Someone can do a sumo, but I would also hurt in the process, so that's no good. My hand is also not looking in the best of shapes. So yeah, what do we do with this? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, I said what I wanted to say with the past live stuff. So I don't know if anyone has any takes on that. If you do, let me know. I do kind of want to discuss it with someone, and I feel like even with my friends, I can't discuss it with, because with my friends, some of my friends anyway have very, very strong opinions about things. If not strong opinions, definitely have observations that I would never have made myself, and because it doesn't make any sense. And sometimes it just kind of feels like fact whenever they say things, and I disagree with it sometimes. You don't have to agree with your friends all the time. Just, you know, your friends sometimes are a reference for figuring out what do you actually believe in, what do you not believe in, and can you provide any inside counterpoint, whatnot, to whatever they're saying. Sometimes I feel like that. But it's nice though sometimes to be able to also have a friend that you can just kind of talk to about anything and everything, and there is no, what do you call this? There's no competition in who's right and who's wrong. Sometimes I feel like there's a competition on who's right and who's wrong with my friends, and I'm kind of like, guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why we getting so hung up on this. I just wanted to introduce this funny little thing, and here we are segueing into politics and drama and whatnot, and I really don't care for it. I get it. You have a lot of things to unload and a lot of things to point out, but guys, I'm just here to unwind, be silly, and not really think too deeply on the matters of life as much as possible. Anyway, as much as possible. When it comes to talking about serious stuff, I mean, talk about serious stuff. Why not? But if we're just talking about something silly, why are you making it serious? I wonder about that sometimes. I wonder about that sometimes, but I can't stop being friends with these people because they're too interesting, so to say. They're too interesting. And there's no real reason to not be friends with people anyway, unless you just don't vibe with them. And I still vibe with people. Wow, your luck is super turning around, isn't it? Holy crap. Well, we're going to south right now. And I am in second. I need to be able to recover from this. Otherwise, person to my right is going to win, and I will go into 4th place. So, Mahjong gods, I implore thee. I implore thee, Mahjong gods, to give me some luck here. To give me some luck in order to be ahead in this game. I can't lose anymore today. I can't lose anymore today. There's pickled plums here that I do not want to eat. Pickled plums I do not want to eat, and points I do not want to lose. And I'm surprised that the person to my right has not died yet. What is going on? They have like protagonist aura happening? I'm not sure. It's kind of like their passive kicked in when they were very, very low in HP, and personally I like those passives in RPGs and games in general. I don't like it when it's used against me. It is not a fun experience here. I mean, as you can see here, the recovery is a little bit too much for me. Holy crap. Why are we getting pushed towards the wall? Because this should not be a thing. This should not be a thing. I just need to be able to keep east. I need to break this guy's flow. I need to be able to somehow get out of this situation. I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. Person to my left is getting very, very desperate. Extremely desperate, shall we say. And oh boy. What can we even do? Can we go in blind? I think I know what people are aiming for. And it is not good times for me. You know what? Take it. Take it. Just hit someone else. Don't hit me. What is even going on in your hand to the right? That is not your wind. What do you have in there? I am scared. I am very scared. I think someone's waiting on my green dragon, but they are not going to get it. Yes. My death is getting a little bit closer here with all the mixed hands and everything. Doom is upon us. Oh, doom is upon us. Sawa, sawa. Sawa, sawa. Did you have to do that when I was east? It's only 2-7, but still. Did you have to do that when I was east? Could it not have waited? This is a very intense south round on an east game. I have a feeling we could be here until a west game if we are not gonna go for big hands, because oh my gosh, this is just so weird. This game is so weird right now. Doom, doom. I do wonder why. I do wonder why. I feel like every year I seem to notice this. Around February, people tend to get busy. What the heck is happening in February that makes everyone so busy? I don't understand. It's like everyone got off from the New Year. Oh, you know what? There is the Lunar New Year. The Lunar New Year is coming up, as I guess Mardi Gras is also coming up in a couple of weeks. Though Lunar New Year is more, well, I guess is the Lunar New Year now? I don't exactly know. For some reason, I think the Lunar New Year is like the first new moon or something in the year. I'm not exactly sure. I feel like there was a new moon in January, but sometimes, but most of the time we do it in February. I don't exactly know how that works. Yeah, this is yabai. これはyabai. I wish the translator can switch between English and Japanese on the fly, but holy crap, it cannot. It's like English only, Japanese only. But if you try to speak in Japanese while it's translating English to Japanese, it just does not like it at all. Bum bum. Well, two-sided wait means also a two-sided death. By whom? To whom? By me. To me. If we're not careful. And I am very much not being careful right now. I don't know what else everyone else has, but this is... yeah, this is gonna be bad. I can only rely on luck now, and it is very slim. Ponya. Kanya. This is dangerous. You should never con when someone's in Richi, but the greed is too much right now. Really? Really? How many more tiles are we going to rule out here? Oh, so there, I think everyone else is starting to play it safe. I cannot play it safe. I have to be in Tenpai. I have to be in Tenpai here. Well, we are in Tenpai. Oh, the sevens. We were all waiting on sevens? Wow. Wow. Gotta go on overtime today, guys. Sorry that we couldn't get a game going with chat. I would love to get a game going. But it seems like I am getting dragged into this. And this is very tense right now. This was only supposed to go to East 4. Why are we in South 2? Why are we still in South 2? Why are we in South 2? Not still in South 2, though also still in South 2. This should have ended in East 4. We are way over time. I do wonder how other Mahjong streamers do this. Do they focus on the game? Do they chat about random stuff? I've visited some Mahjong streamers on Twitch, but Twitch culture is a little bit different from the YouTube culture, and YouTube, especially, around this time, I don't know if we get enough Japanese, what do you call this? Japanese people? Though, I guess in Japan right now, it's like past noon on a Saturday. And I don't know if this is a difference between cultures and whatnot, but I feel like a lot of people in Japan tend to go out on the weekend. In general, I feel like I think people go out more, I guess, or maybe not. I do know there's a lot of people out, at least in Tokyo alone. In Tokyo, Osaka, and in places in general, people are out more, especially on the weekends, than most of North America. And good on them. I like being inside because I am lazy. Lazy the key word. Oi, what's happening here? Do I have to be serious? Do I have to turn up my power level a little bit for this game to end? I guess that's what we have to do. All right then. Well, there goes yuruHYPE. There goes yuruHYPE, and probably the end of my life here soon. Well, the yuruHYPE didn't help. What did it? Oh wow, this is like slow drain. Can someone break this curse? Someone please break this curse that we are in. We're kind of like in an endless 8 right now. And I don't know how to get out of it. Actually, how did anyone get out of it in Endless 8? Supposedly Endless 8 in Haruhi? Well, in the anime you see 8 iterations of Endless 8, which did not happen in the light novel, apparently. In the light novel you only see 1 iteration of it, and by that time you've already seen, like, you've already seen the the number of loops, which I guess numbered in the hundreds of thousands or maybe even millions. And the only one who seems to know about it is one person. The instigator herself does not know anything about it. And I guess it was a job of everyone to make sure the instigator of the loop to make sure they find something to make the endless summer stop. I think that's how it went. Look at me trying not to spoil something that aired almost 10 years ago. Holy crap. Has Haruhi been that long ago already? I think I just aged 10 years from remembering that whole. That's yeah, I think gigantic psychic damage to myself from memories of old. And this hand is not coming together. Why are you not coming together? There's something weird going on with the person to my right. They have all the luck in the world, and I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. But maybe, just maybe, if someone were to be so generous, they can, you know, throw me a bone here. Throw me a bone here and let me win. Thank you very much. We have broken part of the curse, but we're not out of this yet. It's a very cheap hand. All it does is it gets me to second, but we're not out of this yet. But we have broken part of the loop. But we're not done yet. Someone needs to get over 30,000. Guys, remember, we have to get over 30,000! It is a specific rule to end the game. Well, I guess we don't need this anymore. Is this my wind? This is my wind. Alright, one of my winds is already in the discard, so that's not a good sign already. But yeah. You know, I kind of feel like for streamers to be interesting sometimes, they need a little bit of angst. Some streamers need a little bit of angst to be able to tell an interesting story, or at least, you know, be able to have a really, really creative, oh wow, imagination. And okay, you scared me. You scared me. Do not ever do that again.
Don't.
Why are you still not dead? How are you still alive? This person on my right should have died a long time ago, but they have recovered from the brink of death. Either they are cheating, one, or they have protagonist aura, meaning we won't be able to beat this one anytime soon. Also, we are probably with a decently high probability going to go into a West round here, which I don't think I've ever seen in an East game. So what the heck? Do I have to be serious? Do I have to play seriously now? Maybe I should have played seriously at the beginning, but even if I play it seriously, I don't think I can do anything about this guy on the right. This guy on the right is... definitely not making it easy on me. If I just go for a cheap hand, we're never gonna get out of here. I think that's one problem. However, it's also in my interest to get the East on me, as long as you know that there's no sumo on Ron whenever I'm East on myself. Yeah, this is a very cheap hand. I mean, I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this. And I don't know how the heck they keep on doing that. My only hope, and this is bad. Okay, well, Hail Mary. Oh my gosh, it actually passed. Oh. Is that enough to get you 30,000? Oh my gosh, it finally ends. But also, I'm in 4th place yet again. I've been hitting 4th this entire session today. Holy crap. I mean, I'm hoping to win, but luck is definitely not on my side in most cases whenever we do this. I've been playing really bad Mahjong for a while. I don't know if you understand how bad of a Mahjong this is. Look at my record here. 4th, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 4th. My highest round recently has been 2nd. But I keep on hitting 3rd and 4th, and I don't know if that's just bad luck or something else is happening. And the only time I seem to be able to win is in friendly matches, which, speaking of which, I'm sorry that we couldn't get any friendly matches in today. We simply just do not have enough time, and we simply also do not have enough people. And because I got 4th, the last Batsu, which is one more bit of dried plums. It seems I only have like 1 pickled plum left and 1 sour dried plum left in my possession. That is after taking out this set of dried plum and pickled dried plum. Okay. We're just gonna down that really quick. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this is a really bad record today. Really bad record today. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, that's sour and salty. Oh, that's sour and salty. There's this Filipino dish called sinigang that I like very, very much. It's a sour dish. It's a sour soup. But it definitely has a more mellow flavor. This is just sharp. This is just super sharp. It's a little too intense for me. But some people seem to like this. I don't know. Some people like this the dried plum flavor, the sour, the pickled plum flavor. Then it's not for me. That's why we're doing this as a Batsu. But oh my gosh, too much. It go away too much. Anyway, sorry. I guess I didn't have any much to rant about today. And I really didn't know where I was going with the one thing I did want to talk about. But hopefully it made you think about a few things. I don't know. I like to give you guys some thoughts to think about. I mean, not necessarily answering any questions, just give you a thought to think about, and maybe it leads somewhere in your thought processes. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but that we're rolling with it that way. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me tonight, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. We'll try to get some more games in next time with chat. Hopefully we have more people to do this with. Until then, keep sharp on the Mahjong games, because you will be a lot better than me. That's all I can say about that one. You are already a lot better than me, and my luck is just gonna get much worse from here. You know what? I wouldn't doubt it that I'm gonna be knocked out of Adept 2 at this rate. Oh my gosh, why is it so hard to rank up? Why is it so hard to rank up? I need answers. I need answers for this. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here for today. I'll see you all again next week. Thank you for coming again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to whatever the heck I'm saying. But yeah, next time, let me know what you want to share, and we can talk about that. Because I am really bad about coming up with topics apparently. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.